recorded. But the way I'm going to run today's session is I'm going to walk you through a warm up routine you can incorporate immediately. So as soon as we get off of our call or tomorrow when you want to go practice on your own, you can do everything that we do right now in the next like five,
Yeah.
7 minutes in order to get your voice ready for screaming. Now, you shouldn't just do what we're gonna do. You should also warm up doing Chris Lipe's melodic warm up or any melodic warm up that you
Okay.
like. And again, at least at this point in your vocal journey, the point isn't, to sound as perfect as possible. It's just to just vocalize. So don't be hard on
Yeah.
yourself if you
No.
feel like you're not getting it. But just we're trying to get into the habit of just using the voice in musical context. So that's all we're really
Okay.
looking to do here, man. So I'm gonna walk
Okay.
you through two different tongue exercises, one face exercise, and then a
Okay.
voice exercise. And then these four exercises, you can take them, use them immediately. So you can keep them in your back pocket. You'll get the recording too, so you
Oh
can
yeah.
keep up with them, man, and you'll be ready to rock and roll, dude. So let's begin, bro. Um, and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna massage the face, and the reason for that is because we want to get all the tension out of our face. We don't want to sing, really tight and just really uncomfortable, right? We want to be nice and relaxed. When we sing, it doesn't matter if we're doing the sounds we're gonna make today together or if we're singing melodically, like "Hey, I owe you." We just want to make sure we're always relaxed when we sing. We never want to be fighting against our body, to get these sounds out of our body because that's gonna give us a really bad sound and not the sound that we're looking for. So the
Yeah.
first exercise, that we're gonna do is gonna be a face massage for a minute and 15 seconds. It can be a minute and a half, just a
Okay.
minute minimum. There isn't really any set time you want to do it for because you just want to get through the warm up, not as quick as possible, but you want to get through it so you
Yeah.
can start having all the fun, right? And it's super important that we always warm up. You never want to just like dive, raw dog or cold turkey, into
Yeah.
screaming
Yeah.
because
That's a big point that I've picked up off all the videos I've watched so far. You know, which is why I was kind of getting hung up on getting warmed up. Like, fuck, I don't even know how to get warmed up, man.
no
And
worries,
everyone
man.
says it's so fucking important.
No worries, bro. Well, I'm gonna teach you that, and there's more warm-ups too that you can do. But for now, we'll stick to these four, and this is a really, really good
Okay.
base to start off with. You can start getting
Fuck yeah.
fancy and elaborate with them, but we don't really need that, at least right now at this stage, man. But
Gotcha.
the first exercise
Yeah. I
we're gonna
just
do.
need some beginner shit, man.
Oh yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. I've worked with a lot of beginners that have zero experience, and we've got them to unlock their fry and their screams pretty quickly. So, um, yeah, man, let's go ahead and let's just take our hands. We're gonna massage our face, the cheeks, the jaw, and the goal here is to just relax the face. And if it feels good, that means that you're doing it right.
If it feels good, you do it for another minute. What I always say.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, there isn't like a limit that you have to do this. If you want to do 2 minutes, you can, whatever helps you get nice and relaxed and in the zone. When you sing, even if it's screaming or regular singing, there's a big psychological component to that. So you definitely, want to make sure that you're nice and relaxed and not tense when you do this stuff. But yeah, man, so you're living in the Ozarks in the
Yeah, I've been living off grid with no electric for about 8 years, and I've been in the Ozarks for about 15 years.
that's
So
awesome, man.
a little bit over half that time I've had no electric, just me and my dogs.
That's awesome, dude. Right on. And that's Arkansas?
Yeah, yeah. When I was a little kid, I was raised up in big cities and shit. Cracker in the hood, and I just couldn't wait to move out to the fucking woods. When I was 13 years old, no, when I was 11 years old, I stole my mom's rent for the month and fucking took off. I was on my way to go live in the woods, dude. I got this old black dude to buy this crossbow and a knife for me. I was on
That
my way to the fucking woods to live, dude. I got picked up by the cops and brought back, but that just tells you how bad I wanted to go to the fucking wood.
that's what's up, man. Yeah, dude. There's something just really relaxing about being around nature, man. So being in the city, it's
Actually, I
definitely
do feel that in my face. I do feel that in my face.
right on, dude. That means it's working. That means
Yeah,
we did it right. Excellent.
yeah, yeah.
Now that we're done with that first warm up, we're gonna go on to the tongue warm ups. There's gonna be two separate ones that we do. The first one, we're just gonna
Okay.
stretch our tongue. I saw you doing it for a bit. We're gonna do that again.
Yeah,
You're gonna follow along
okay.
with me. We're gonna hold our tongue in certain positions for 6 seconds
Yeah,
each.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do another tongue exercise to get any remaining tension out of the tongue. So it's going to be two
Okay.
in total. And then we'll start warming up the voice and getting to the fun stuff. So
Fuck yeah.
we're going to take the tip of our tongue, man. And we're going to just point it up into the left for 6 seconds. And it's going to fall along with me in different directions. So
Okay.
tip of our
Yep.
tongue up into the left. And we'll hold there for
Okay.
6 seconds. Then we're going to try and touch the tip of our nose next. And then we'll go up and to the right. And then we'll go all the way to the left. And then we'll go all the way to the right. And then we'll go down to the left. Then we'll go down to the right. And we'll go straight down. And we're good. We can take a quick little couple second break there, man. But yeah, dude, Arkansas. I lived in the US for a little while in Texas.
I
Um,
was gonna ask because your English is too good to never have lived.
yeah, I lived in the US for a while. And I lived in Texas for a little bit and I kind of traveled around like that southern area of the US.
Yeah.
In Arkansas too. I'm only really familiar with like Hot Springs, Arkansas and
Yeah.
Texarkana.
Well,
Yeah.
Hot Springs is a badass place. Yeah.
Is it like it
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
went
Hot
there,
Springs is
bro?
awesome.
I mean, I was there for not too long. I mean, I had to travel, and I was there for a couple nights, man. And it was a cool place. Like it was like like really small town feel. I know it's like the
Yeah.
one of the bigger
There's a lot to do
cities
there.
in Arkansas, right?
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of big cities out here. You got Little Rock, Fayetteville, and those are the biggest cities out here. Then everything else is definitely small.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
driving at night is kind of scary, you know? Like it's like two lanes, all forests, no lights, and it's like truckers, like it's like what the hell? That's kind of spooky, you know? So it was an experience traveling through
There's
Arkansas
definitely
for
some wrong
sure.
turns out here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I
There's some wrong
remember,
turns out here.
yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, it's cool, being out there in the middle of all the vegetation and the forest and the reservation and
Oh no. Well,
everything.
there's so much water out here. For being in the middle of the country, there's so much water out here. There's springs, lakes, rivers, streams everywhere.
Yeah, man, it's really nice. It's really beautiful. The south of the U.S. is really nice. I lived in Dallas for a while, North Dallas, so I got to experience kind of like Oklahoma, Arkansas. It's all kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah. Yeah.
that junction, I guess, where like Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas meet. Like it's all kind of the same. It's kind of like middle of nowhere, like horror movie, flatlands
Yeah.
almost
Oh, for
at,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Florida originally.
Ah, super cool. I work with a lot of people from Florida. I got a lot of buddies out there in
Yeah.
Florida and
Well,
Florida
the
and California.
metal scene is very big. Metal scene is huge in Florida.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very big in Florida. In Florida and in Texas as well too. Like in like
Yeah,
DF
yeah.
Dallas Fort
Florida,
Worth.
Texas, Cali.
Yeah.
There might be some other little hot spots here and there, but like out here in Arkansas, it's such a big culture shock. Metal is hard to find out here. Down in Florida where I was at, every single weekend you could drive an hour to 2 hours and go find a metal show. Out here, you got to wait once or twice a year to find a metal show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know there really hasn't been any bands that I've seen that like, tour in Arkansas. They probably have you guys go to like Oklahoma, like
Yeah,
OKC or something
they
like
hit a
that.
couple cities out here, but yeah, Arkansas is largely passed over. The only band I can even think of kind of coming out of here is Rob Zombie. I know Rob Zombie has some property here in Arkansas, from what I hear, but that's the only band I even hear coming out of here.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Rob Zombie, that's a throwback, man. Industrial, like that
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
90s like early 2000 sound. Really, really good stuff, man. Dracula, like
Yeah,
everyone knows that, you know?
yeah, their newer stuff is totally different.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as hard, you know. I don't like their newer stuff too much, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
for
like that
sure.
old school shit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, that's like just an iconic band for sure, man. But yeah, dude, awesome, awesome, dude. Good talks. Now, the next exercise, let's go ahead and take the tongue. We're gonna have our mouth closed for this one. And we're just gonna do
Okay.
10 rotations clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. So it'll look like this.
Okay, cool.
Like that. So we'll do 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise. And you'll definitely feel this one. So once you're done with it, if you feel it, if you're like, damn, that's kind of intense, don't be worried.
I feel it
It
in my
means it's
throat
working.
right here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right in the root of the tongue. It's gonna get all that tension out. Oh yeah, even I felt that one.
I'm licking it like it owes me money.
That's how you're supposed to do it, man. That's how you keep them coming back.
Damn straight.
Dude, I've always said, like me and my buddies, dude, like it's like, not even just licking it, bro, but it's like laying tile down. You lay it down right the first time, it'll be there forever, you know? So that's how you do it. You do masonry, so you know.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that stuff. But yeah, man, now that we got the tongue exercises out of the way, now we get to the fun part. So we're gonna warm up the voice now, and we're gonna get it ready for screaming, in particular, fry screaming. So this exercise, it might be new. You might feel some new sensations, like using the voice in such a coordinated way. Totally fine, totally normal. We're not trying to go for picture perfect stuff here. We're just trying to make some progress and learn how to even manipulate the voice in space to get the sounds you want to get out. So the first exercise we're going to focus on is just saying the five cardinal vowels. And in singing, you'll hear this a lot, like A, E, I, O, U. Like those are the five
Yeah.
cardinal vowels. Those are the five sounds you're going to be
Okay.
focusing a lot on because of the main vowels and they're used in everything. So that's why people do these sounds in music and warm-up exercises and whatnot. But we're going to do these five vowel sounds and we're going to hold them out for 5 seconds each, not all in one
Okay.
shot. So we'll do like A for 5 seconds, breathe, E, breathe, I, breathe, so on and so
Okay.
forth. But we're going to try and hold them out in this area of our voice called the fry vocal register. That may or may not sound familiar to you. Does that sound familiar? The fry vocal
No.
register?
No.
Okay. So the fry vocal register is the part of our voice responsible for sounding like this, kind of like, Kim Kardashian, or kind of like a I don't know, kind of like a 20-year-old college girl, kind of like that. Like that's what the fry vocal register is responsible for, helping us sound like this, kind of getting that like robot kind of voice. And the way we can activate it or get our voice into that spot is
Yeah.
by just slowing the voice down like this. And you kind of sound like you're speaking into a fan. And that's what we're
Okay.
trying to channel here. We're trying to just slow our voice down to engage that spot in the voice. And this exercise trains precision and breath control in the voice. So
Okay.
we'll break that down even more. But for now, I just want to hear you try and attempt that. And if you want to hold your phone up closer to you, that you can do that. It's not an issue at all. I'm so I can hear a little bit clearer. But we're going to try and just say A, E, I, O, U in the fry vocal register like this. And if you want to check that you're doing it right, you can place your finger right here in the ditch of your collarbone. And when you
Yeah.
get into this fry vocal register spot in your voice, you'll feel a lot of vibration right here,
Ah,
like that.
ah,
Like that. And it's going to feel very
ah.
similar to like a kind of like putting bacon on a frying pan, kind of like a sizzling ember kind of sensation. And
Yeah.
that's the sensations you want to really channel. You want to get familiar with that sensation, but if you want to just like, talk in your regular voice and then you want to just let your voice fall into this spot, then that's totally fine. And you want to
Just
just
talk in your regular voice and
yeah.
let your voice
Uh,
let it.
just
Ah,
let it fall down into that spot, like as if you almost like just woke up, like that. That's it. Right there. And then we're just gonna focus on saying the five cardinal vowels, A, E, I, O, U. So we'll do A for 5 seconds, E for 5 seconds, I for 5 seconds, O 5 seconds, O 5 seconds, and we'll breathe in between each one. So when
Okay.
you're ready, take your time with it. We're not trying to get through this as fast as possible, but I'm just going to listen
Yeah.
to what's going on, and I'll jump in where I have to help you out. And anything, I'll just we'll correct what's going on, but we're just gonna have some fun, and we'll see where we can go with their voice today. So I'll listen to what's going on. I'll jump in where I have to, but give it a shot.
Eh, eh.
Here we go. Okay.
I was losing.
It's tricky. It's like a tightrope. You can easily like slip and slide out of it. Um,
I was I was losing air though, so I was pushing too much air through.
yeah, yeah. For this sound, you're gonna be using as minimal air as possible. So, not even a lot of air. It's kind of like think of like a balloon, like filling up a balloon, and then like pinching the nozzle, the end of it, and then it's like
Yeah,
squeaking out air. That's kind of the most similar analogy I can use to explain what we're doing with our voice here. But that's gonna be
yeah.
what we're doing when we're activating the fry. We're just, talking in regular voice. And then as you slow it down and decrease the effort in
As
your
you
speech, you'll
slow
get that like
it
robotic sizzling
down,
sensation in the voice.
as you slow it down, I am
There we go.
losing air. And, and shit, I only got a couple seconds. I'm losing too much air.
Let's pause this exercise real quick. I'm going to walk you through a breath support exercise to kind of show you how much air. This is a really good exercise. It'll kind of show you how much air you should be using, um, no matter what singing style or technique that you're doing. But this exercise, it's just called a snake exercise. And the reason it's called that is because we're going to sound like a snake when we do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hand on our chest right here, in the middle of our chest. We're going to put one hand on the belly button. And what we're going to focus on doing is inflating the belly button outward when we breathe, but keeping our shoulders immobile. We don't want them to move at all. And we don't want this hand on our chest to move at all. So what we want to do is we just want to focus on inflating the belly outward when we breathe. And then we're going to exhale again. And then what we're really trying to focus on here is, again, no movement. So we're not trying to do this. Like we don't want to see, the
Okay.
shoulders rolling up and down. And we want to keep this hand still. We're just trying to focus the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is what's going to be used whenever you sing rock and metal or regular singing. And that's what we're doing when
So
we think.
we're just moving the stomach and not the chest.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
right. In particular, we're actually moving the diaphragm. We're actually breathing in, and then the diaphragm's expanding outward. That's what we're actually moving, and
Okay.
that's why I say belly button because it's located right beneath the belly button, behind all the tissues, the,
Okay.
the muscle and fat and all that fun stuff down there. So when we put our hand on our belly button, we're actually placing it where the diaphragm is, and when we breathe and we don't move our chest or our shoulders at all, and only focus on moving the belly button outward, that's breathing with the diaphragm. So we're going to take
Okay.
another nice deep breath with the diaphragm. And then the next thing we're going to do once we take our deep breath is we're going to hold it there. And then we're going to put our teeth together and we're going to make an S sound like a snake. And we're just going to try and get used to understanding what it feels like to have proper breath support. We don't really care about anything else at this point. We just want to know how to
Yeah.
breathe the right way. So we're going to inflate our belly outward, keeping the shoulders level, no movement, keeping the other hand not moving. And then we're going to put our teeth together and make the letter S. And that squeezing sensation, that kind of like engagement that you feel in the stomach, in the abs, where your hand is on your belly button, that's proper breath support. That's what it feels like. And whenever you're singing, even if you're screaming, that's how hard you should ever be pushing. Even when you're singing or even making these sounds, when you're doing that's how hard you should be pushing. The same amount of effort that you're using when you do the snake exercise, breathing with the belly button, put your teeth together and make the letter S. That effort, like that pushing, how much air you're letting out in that exercise, we want to just copy and paste that into everything that we do when we sing. So even when we're doing like this, when we're doing that, we want to use the same amount of effort that we use in this thing exercise when we do that too. Even when we sing like, hey, I owe you, or when we scream, yay, yeah, doesn't matter what technique we're doing, that's how hard we ever want to push. You never need to push as harder than that than we just did with this thing exercise. So just so you know, just for some like context, man.
No, yeah, I told you you're gonna have to start me from the bottom, dude. Like I don't have none of that, so I needed all that. Like I'll try to work on that. I'll be working on all this stuff.
Yeah, man, no worries. I'll even send you links too, like supplementary like links on YouTube, like from other
Okay, that would be
channels and
awesome.
stuff too, to
Yeah,
help you out. Because I really want to see you succeed, man. Because I mean,
yeah.
this looks like something that's really important to you, and I knew you can do it. You can do it. Anyone can do this. If you can speak, you can scream. That's just the reality of it.
Oh,
If you can speak, you can sing as well too. So I really want to see you succeed, bro.
yeah. I got a lifetime of sucking to put behind
Yeah, dude, for sure. And we'll also put some information to those lyrics too, because I know you want to put some musicality behind them. So we'll
me.
definitely work on that too, like song arrangement
Yeah.
or how to write music and stuff like that, and making things musical. Just give me 1 second, dude, because I got a
Yes,
crazy, crazy runny nose. I'll be right back in 1 second. Just gotta
I
go.
got you. Yeah, yeah.
Give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right back.
Yes.
Oh, all right, I'm back. Yeah, man, everyone's got like COVID part two, or like they got this really crazy stomach bug. Everyone's sick with one of the two things. Like some people are like projectile vomiting bile, like corrosive vomit, or like they just have like COVID 2.0 right now, man. And just stay healthy, dude, and bundle up, man, because I mean, there's a bunch of crazy viruses and bugs going around right now.
Is that around where you're at, or from all your clients?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I live in the capital of Colombia. I live actually in a little village, a little outside of the capital, like on not really
Okay.
the outskirts, but I mean, there's a direct bus from where I live to the capital. I lived in the
Okay.
capital. Like when I first started the channel last month, I was getting ready to move out of there and get more out here and into like where you're at, more nature, more like quiet, more chill, like just more closer to
I
nature.
gotta be in the woods. I gotta be in the woods. I cannot stand a city, man, except for visiting. I can't live in a city.
Yeah, dude. And the culture is so different. Like just a lot of hustle and bustle and people, um, just yeah, dude. No one's really personable or friendly in the city, man. It's just a different
Yeah.
culture.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like night and day, dude. But yeah, super, super crazy, man. I mean, Arkansas, my experience with it, even if like Hot Springs is a bigger city, the people there were pretty nice. I don't know if there was like a big
Oh
change
yeah.
between Hot Springs and like where you're at.
No, just in Arkansas in general, people are a lot more respectful. It's totally a culture shock coming from other places. When I first moved here from Florida, it blew my mind.
Yeah, the East Coast is pretty crazy, man. Like my experience, like, going to like New York, Philadelphia, like more up north on the East
Yeah,
Coast, it's really, really night and day compared to like the South, dude. People are just,
yeah.
I mean, people suck, bro, up there. I don't know what it is, but everyone's got like a stick up their ass and they're just not the
Well, yeah,
friendliest.
I'll put it this way. I start to get homicidal really quick in cities. I start to feel homicidal thought
Yeah,
in
man.
cities, and that's not nearly as prevalent when I'm out here in the woods. So I just stick to the wood.
Bro, I feel the same way, man. I mean, I'll get like, homicidal machine gun thoughts, like when I'm dealing
Yeah.
with city folk, and it's the way it is, man. They're just, I think
Well,
it's,
just the lack of respect for your fellow man.
yeah, they absolutely, man. People, it's just, I just think that, how people leave your presence, man, is the most important thing. And these people just don't even care about that, man. They're just on different vibrations and frequencies, dude. And I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's just insane, man. It's really
And it's
crazy.
like attracts like. You can only deal with that shit if you're in that vibration. That's the only way that you can even feasibly deal with it, or else you got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, exactly that, man. Your vibration will repel other vibrations that are lower frequencies. And me personally, like, I consider myself a positive person, you know, and when I deal with people like that, like it repels them. That's why we just don't get along. I mean, that's how I look at it, man. And you too, man. I mean, you're a stand-up guy, and that's why you don't get along with them because your frequency repels them, and that's how I look at it. That's why there's a clash
Uh,
whenever you meet people like that because there's two magnets that don't want to be near each other. That's what it is.
exactly. When we were talking on my podcast, I got the feeling that because you like to live real happy and positive, but I got the feeling that it didn't used to be always be that way. You know, that's a life you created for yourself. Is that true or false? That's just an impression I got. I got the impression that you used to be kind of depressed and stuff, and you figured out how to make yourself happy, and
Yeah,
that's what you were explaining. You know,
yeah, yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
impression I got.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, as a kid growing up, I was definitely kind of like, I mean, I was definitely really insecure, about myself as a kid growing up, and not, in like a feminine way, but I was just kind of like, a reserved kid. Like even as like a baby, like I was just always really a quiet type of person,
Yeah,
and it definitely took a while, a lot of self-development, to like get to a point where I'm happy with who I am right now, and obviously, man, like no one's perfect, we all have shit that we all carry and deal with, but as long as the quality of your mistakes get better over time and people leave your presence better than how they entered it, I think that that's a good way to
yeah,
live life, man, but
yeah.
yeah, you're
I
right
used to
about
be
that.
super depressed. I used to be super depressed most of my life. Depressed
Yeah,
and suicidal. Like it's a miracle I'm sitting here today because I used to want to die so bad.
me
But
too, man.
what I realized,
Yeah,
yeah, what I realized was, we all have control over our life. Okay. And if you don't like your life, you can change it. It's really simple. And to change it is simple. You just do the things you love and get rid of the things that stress you the fuck out. You know,
yeah,
it's really simple once you realize it.
yeah, that's right, dude, and I agree with you, man. And a lot of it, I mentioned it like on your episode, like I was like, we're more in control of our lives than we think we are.
Oh yeah.
Um, and a lot of people they might choose to play the victim mentality, um, to like dissolve them of responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Because their only agency is playing the victim and having other people care for them or step in, and they don't have any agency. Their only agency is just drifting through life without any accountability. So yeah,
Well,
I think
to some people, it's easier to pretend that other people have control over their life. That way, they don't have to take responsibility for it. You know,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
is the way
Um,
I perceive it.
yeah, I agree, man, and I think that that's especially in America, like from what I've heard, from what I've my experience there, um, like people, um, there's a big divide, in America,
Yeah,
and at the core of it, I think are those mentalities, right? Like kind of like a victimhood mindset
yeah,
and people can call it like two political parties, but I think that it's more of a mentality divide. That there are people that will have like a more victim mentality and people who, are more in control of their lives or have more, who are less neurotic, I guess you can say, you know what I mean? And I think
yeah.
that that's really the core issue from American society, at least the past like what, like 6, 8 years, I think. Um, that's how I look at it personally. But politics and
Yeah.
stuff, I try, it's just I feel like I can chat with you about anything, and you're a good guy, and so that's why I chat that with that about that stuff with you, man. But that's you probably might agree, you probably might not, but I think that that's a big thing right now in the U.S. Like people
No, absolutely.
adopting one of two mentalities, like that victimhood or champion mentality, I guess, because I don't really know what else would be the opposite of that.
Yeah, and also being the victim is put up on a pedestal these days. You know, and now it's cool to be the victim. Now that's how you have power over other people is to be the victim. You know, so in a society like that, that's promoting all kinds of people to come up with shit to be victimized about. You know,
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't even think that it's pedestalized. I think that people that play the victim, they're just there's so much more to gain from that, in the short term than
yeah, yeah,
you
short
know
term.
than the opposite, and it's just so crazy, man. I'm glad that it looks like things are changing though for the better, man, and I hope that things get better there.
It
But
absolutely is because people like us speaking up. You know, if people like us don't speak up, it won't get better, and that's the important part.
yeah,
If
absolutely.
if you don't use your voice, you will lose it. You know, one way or another.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. But yeah, Dane, let me go ahead and send you another invite so we can get another 40 minutes on the session, man. So
Okay,
I'm gonna send it to you through Gmail. I got this recording done, and then
okay,
we'll wrap up in this second session, all right? So just give me 1 second. I'll say another
okay.
invite, all right?
Give me about 5 minutes. I got to walk up to my cabin because I'm losing light right here, and I didn't bring a light with me to shine on me, so you won't be able to see me here in a few minutes.
Okay, no
So
worries.
so just give me about 5 to 8 minutes. I'm gonna walk up to my cabin over here, and then I'll jump right back in. All right.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'll send you the
Hey, I
invite.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you just join when you're ready, all right? No worries, no rush.
Okay. Okay. No, I'll be about 10 minutes most. All right.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you in the second
All right.
invite
Thank
to
you,
your
Jeff. See you
Gmail.
in a minute.
Anytime, man.
Appreciate it.